Finally doing our next custom here. What are we gonna do? We're gonna do this guy right here. So this is a Ertl 1988 Ford F series truck. Decal wise, specific little emblems and stuff, not real detailed, but it's got dual tanks, it's got a gooseneck, hitch, it's got windshield wipers, no interior, but you can kind of tell that's a tinted window in there, you can see through it. And when you paint up the grille and the lights in here, this looks really nice. Pretty plain base. And somebody at some point before I got this broke the back bumper off of it. So I've got another one of these that doesn't need its bed because it's going to be a utility truck. So it's going to give its bumper to this. And now I'm going to show you what we're doing with this truck. It's really not going to look a whole lot different than it does right now color wise. The black's going to be dark blue and the silver is going to be gray. But it's just going to be hopefully a little bit more detailed. So this is the truck that we are going to customize. So like I said, not a whole lot different color wise than the casting is right now. This, I know it probably looks black in this picture. You know how things look darker when they're wet sometimes. Well, paint on vehicles, especially older vehicles, is that way. This truck is really a very dark blue, like a midnight blue, and then the gray stripe. And I don't know how I'm going to manage to pull this off, but it does have a red pinstripe running down the side of the truck. Not real sure how well that's going to turn out. I don't have to do anything with the wheels because other than the one that's missing the hubcap that we're not going to worry about, the wheels on our model are exactly these hubcaps. One other thing, I don't have a decal printer and I've never had luck with the decal paper that I've bought. So I'm not sure how we're going to get the Rebel flag on there. I would love to get it on there, but I'm just not sure unless I find some kind of decal paper while I'm doing this custom that happens to work. It may or may not have the Rebel flag on the front of the truck. Something else I'm going to try to do, that little model has the chrome, all the grill and the lights and the bumper, everything on that's one piece. So this colored piece of plastic between the lights and the bumper is chrome, and it should be dark gray to match this stripe. I've got a back picture of this truck as well. So here is not only a picture of this truck when it's dry, so we can see what color it is, but also a picture of the back portion of this truck, which I know it's hard to see here, but that's not the gray stripe on the tailgate. That's a brushed stainless, I think they're aluminum actually. That's a brushed aluminum plate that goes over these tailgates. It made them look a little more modern, and Ford could use the same tailgate they'd been using for years. Basically, that's why they did that. And then that stripe on the back of the tailgate there is red. There's a better look at our wheels, which are exactly like the wheels on our model. Something different on this truck that I didn't notice until I took this picture and was kind of studying it. The B-pillars on this truck, I know that's rusty now, but they were gray like the stripe. And apparently that continues on the top of our truck, which appears to be a different color if you compare it to the top of the door or the A-pillar here and then the top of the truck. It's a different color. So it must, top must be gray, like this stripe, which is kind of interesting. So this is going to be Project Doc, because the guy that owns this truck, well, lives down the road from me, but he works at the hospital, and I don't know the guy. I don't know if he's a doctor or not, but that's what this project's going to be called, just because he works at the hospital. I know that it takes a lot more than doctors to run a hospital. There's got to be janitors and desk clerks and behind the scenes people, but just gonna call this one something fun. So that's what it's gonna be. Yeah. So we're gonna try our best to make this truck look maybe not like it does now, but like it did in its heyday, before the side pillars were rusty and, you know, before the gray oxidized and had a lot of different shades to it. So maybe we're going to make this truck look like it did in its prime. So, taking our doctor's truck apart here, here's what's left of our bumper. Y'all are going to laugh at me, but I'm going to keep this because you saw that worked well as a filling gap for back here where the bumper was. Well, our utility truck is currently a pickup truck, so we're going to have an extra bed, and I'll need this filler. I'll sand it down when I get to that. But here's our bumper that's supposed to go right here. So, as mentioned previously, these are the exact wheels that we need. Ooh. Camera doesn't like to ever focus on these wheels because they're chrome. I think a Nuln oil wash would be good for these, but I don't have any of that. So I think they're going to be alright. I might be able to figure something out, make the details in them stand out a little bit more. But yeah, the tires are great. Base is good. I don't need to do anything with any of this or the back bumper. So that's all done. I probably should not have put my drill away yet. No, I shouldn't have. Because naturally, they would rivet in the windshield. They didn't rivet in our grill, though. Got cobwebs from being together for 35 years. So there's our lights and our... The only thing I'm going to have to do to this, other than print off the license plate for the front, is underneath the headlights there, they're supposed to be color, which will be gray. So I think I'll be able to figure that out pretty easily. And I'm not promising that that's going to have the front license plate. I have trouble every time I print decals. That's why none of my things ever have decals. So, here's our dusty truck. Got to pull the window section out. You can see it's got 2 more mushrooms there. They look like they're going to be real easy to drill through the top of the truck with. Hopefully I don't do that. This isn't a police truck. It doesn't need a gumball beacon on the top. But look how pokey. It's not really showing up on the camera. But that plastic is real jagged and uneven in there. Looks like what they call popcorn ceiling in some houses. So I'll take that out, and this truck's ready to go in the stripper. I find that Mr. Punch here does pretty well for the windows, because even with my crank drill that I normally use, it's real easy to drill through the top of this truck. So with our Mr. Punch, we're going to drill through it here. This was still not a fun thing to get out, because Ertl apparently in the 90s could not lay a straight rivet. This was a pain to get out, and it's going to be a pain to get back in, the way those things are shaped. But this is what we're working with here. And I think for the most part, this is going to be pretty easy. Like I say earlier, the little gray part up here is going to be kind of a challenge. The rest of it should be fine. So even before wire wheeling this, I can see that this is going to be really easy to tape off for the two-tone, because the lines are very deep and defined. We also have a lot of flat surface, which makes it look nice when the paint lays good, and makes it look really bad when the paint lays not so good. So at this point, this could still go either direction. Hopefully it works alright. We're back from paint. Now, there are some things I have to hand paint, like I was talking about earlier on in the video. The red pinstripes and such little details as that. So those have to be hand painted. I could probably spray them, but I would feel more confident if I was physically painting it instead of just spraying it. But I thought I had this thing done, and then I remembered that I didn't paint the top gray when I painted the stripes on the sides, so I had to do that. Painted the brushed aluminum plate on the tailgate there, as you can see. I will have to do the little red stripe on that thing as well. And I have to paint the tail lights, and of course this thing's not quite done yet, but it's looking good. I want to show this right now because I'll probably forget later on. You see how dark blue the bed is and the hood and everything? Well, that paint's not that color blue. That paint is this color blue. But I used that black clear coat that I have, and you see how much darker it went from like a navy blue to a midnight blue, which is what I was supposed to have. For over a month now, you guys have probably been seeing my truck sitting in the background of all the videos. Remember, I said I was going to have trouble with the rebel flag on the bumper. I was going to have trouble printing off that decal. Well, I couldn't find an app that I thought sufficed for what I was wanting to do with it, so bought the decal paper. And so I got this nice decal paper, and I ended up just drawing it on there. And it doesn't look great, but it's at least it's centered, and when the light shines on it, it looks okay. And to the naked eye, it looks better, at least to me. I also got the gray paint underneath of the headlight, between the headlight and the bumper on both sides. And the rubber trim strip that goes around the front bumper. I don't know if I showed the pinstripe being done or not. I haven't went back and watched all of the footage of the truck yet. I actually hand painted that, and then wherever I would get out of line with it, I'd take a Q-tip with some rubbing alcohol and pull it off of there. I put some chrome around the wheel wells and around the windshield. I cleaned the dust off of this thing. It looks dusty from sitting up here. Got the back detailed with the red stripe on the tailgate and the pinstripe and the chrome handle. Lights are painted. I did the black and chrome side trim on the truck, but since it's right there where the dark and light paint meet, it's kind of hard to tell that it's detailed. Here's the other side of it before we put this thing back together. I have one issue with the paint right here, and then the pinstripe didn't lay super well right through here, but I'm saying for the most part, I'm happy with it. So let's put this back together. I also put the strip on the bumper. And I added an exhaust pipe, and I put a chrome tip on the exhaust pipe just for the heck of it. It looks better. It doesn't look so sticky outy when it's on when the truck's put together. I test fit the body to it. And then I took I was saying I don't have any Nuln oil, so what I do, I take a Sharpie and I color all that in. Then I take a Q-tip with rubbing alcohol on it and turn all of that Sharpie ink into liquid, and then it sinks down into those little deep crevices, and then I rub the extra off. So that's how I got those hubcaps to look like the real deal hubcaps that Ford had. So I'm going to put this little guy back together. I also detailed the windshield wipers. I know the truck has black windshield wipers, but I thought the chrome wipers would give it some detail. So I'll put this guy back together, then we'll look at it again. So here it is all put back together. I'll get my grubby fingerprints off of it before I put it on the turntable, but I must say I think we did pretty good. Say it for yourself in the comments, but I think we did a good job. I'll get this on the turntable for you guys. Like, comment, subscribe for more. I'll catch you in the next video, and hopefully the next custom doesn't take as long as this one. This one's about a month behind what it should have been due to the decal having to be drawn on instead of... I just came up with that idea, I don't know why. But luckily the next one doesn't need any decals, so it should be easier.